Magdalena Sadlo, a former contestant on Love Island Poland, lived a life that many only dream of. She became the image of modern-day success, a self-made influencer with glamorous vacations, sleek private jets, luxury designer clothes, and extravagant parties. Her Instagram was filled with images that showcased a life of luxury. Thousands of followers admired her, wishing they could live the same lifestyle. To them, she was the epitome of beauty, success, and influence, a symbol of what anyone could attain with dedication and the right image. But behind this flawless facade, Magdalena's reality was anything but glamorous. The glitzy trips, the high-end fashion, the designer bags, they were not funded by sponsorships, collaborations, or brand deals. Instead, they were funded by a dangerous world, a £53 million cocaine smuggling ring. Magdalena was part of a sophisticated criminal enterprise that had infiltrated the influencer world. The truth was so carefully concealed that even those closest to her were completely unaware. In May 2023, a routine customs inspection at Heathrow Airport led to her arrest, shattering her life of luxury and flawless selfies. A seemingly ordinary luggage check revealed that Magdalena was carrying cocaine worth millions of pounds. Her arrest set off a media frenzy, with tabloids branding her the cocaine queen. As the story spread across social media and news outlets, it left her followers stunned. How could someone with a seemingly perfect life risk everything for crime? Her arrest was the shocking revelation of how an influencer had become entangled in one of Europe's most sophisticated drug smuggling rings. This is the story of how a reality TV star turned Instagram influencer found herself drawn into the criminal underworld. Magdalena's journey to fame didn't start in the lap of luxury. Born and raised in a small Polish town, her life was far removed from the world of private jets and luxury fashion. Her family was modest, working hard to make ends meet, and luxury items were a distant dream. There were no lavish holidays, no designer brands, and no flashy cars. Instead, Magdalena's childhood was spent in a town where everyone knew each other, and the routine of daily life revolved around family gatherings and local events. From a young age, however, Magdalena dreamed of something more. She craved a life filled with excitement, beauty, and glamour, the kind of life she saw on TV, in magazines, or online. She wanted to live in a world of luxury, where success was defined by fame and admiration. The small town where she grew up offered little opportunity for that kind of life. But in her heart, she believed that one day she could escape and live a life that was bigger than what she saw around her. Her chance came in 2021 when she was cast on Love Island Poland. This reality show was a platform for many aspiring influencers to build their brand, and it was her gateway to the world she had dreamed of. Although she didn't win the show, she gained something far more valuable: a massive following on social media. Her Instagram transformed from simple posts to a carefully curated lifestyle that showcased luxury, beauty, and the kind of adventures many only fantasized about. She posted images of herself lounging by infinity pools, sipping champagne in rooftop bars, and traveling to exotic destinations. To her growing audience, she had made it. But while her followers saw her as the epitome of success, what they didn't see was the mounting pressure that came with sustaining this kind of life. As her follower count skyrocketed, so did the demands. She had to keep up with the image of perfection. Every trip, every outfit, every post had to be better than the last. Behind the scenes, however, the reality was less glamorous. Maintaining such a lavish lifestyle came at a steep price. Brand deals and influencer income weren't enough to fund her trips and designer clothes, but the pressure to live up to her curated persona kept her moving forward. The pressures that come with being a successful influencer can be immense. As Magdalena's follower count grew, so did the demands. The lifestyle she presented to her audience, filled with luxury and wealth, required significant financial investment. While brand collaborations and sponsorships helped, they were never enough to cover the growing expenses of international flights, private jets, five-star accommodations, and designer clothes. Magdalena was faced with a dilemma. She had built a career based on presenting a life of luxury, But sustaining that image required more money than she could make through traditional influencer means. The pressure to keep up appearances became an obsession. She had to constantly top her last post, wear the latest fashions, and show off the most exotic destinations. In the highly competitive world of influencers, one slip-up, one missed opportunity for content could mean losing followers, sponsors, and her brand deals. At this critical point, Magdalena was approached by a criminal network. They saw an opportunity to use her as a courier in their cocaine smuggling operation. The offer was tempting. She could continue living the lavish lifestyle she had worked so hard to build, but without the stress of securing new brand deals or worrying about financial instability. The network offered a steady stream of income, and it seemed like the perfect solution to her financial struggles. The temptation of easy money combined with the immense pressure to maintain her image led Magdalena down a path she could never have imagined. She agreed to become part of the operation, setting the stage for her involvement in one of Europe's largest drug smuggling rings. What began as a seemingly simple way to secure her lifestyle would soon spiral out of control, and she would pay a heavy price for it. The network that Magdalena joined was far from an ordinary criminal operation. It was highly organized, multinational, and operated with the precision of a global corporation. The objective was simple: to smuggle cocaine from South America into Europe. However, the logistics of the operation were far from simple. The network had established a sophisticated system to move the drugs across international borders without detection. The cocaine was hidden inside legitimate shipments, electronics, textiles, and machinery, designed to blend in with everyday trade goods. The drugs were carefully concealed inside these shipments, often in hidden compartments that customs officials would not normally inspect. Dubai became the central hub for the operation, with the drugs being moved through this luxury city where they could be stored, repackaged, and sent to Europe. Magdalena's role was integral to the success of this operation. She was more than just a courier. Her influencer status provided the perfect cover. Her frequent trips to Dubai, which she presented as business ventures or personal vacations, were actually part of her involvement in the smuggling operation. She was tasked with transporting the drugs across borders, moving them under the guise of her influencer lifestyle. Her jet-setting persona allowed her to pass through customs without arousing suspicion. She was also responsible for moving large sums of cash for money laundering purposes. The proceeds from the cocaine sales were funneled through shell companies, real estate investments, and other legal-looking assets in Dubai. These efforts were designed to launder the drug money and integrate it into the legitimate economy, ensuring that the criminal network could continue to operate without detection. Magdalena's double life came to an end when she was arrested in May 2023. A routine customs inspection at Heathrow Airport revealed the cocaine hidden in her luggage. The arrest marked a significant milestone for Magdalena and the criminal network she had become involved in. The news of her arrest spread quickly, and her story became a national sensation. Fans and followers were shocked, unable to reconcile the glamorous influencer they admired with the criminal accusations now surrounding her. The media quickly dubbed her the Cocaine Queen, and tabloids were filled with sensational headlines about her involvement in the smuggling operation. The stark contrast between her curated image and the reality of her criminal activities captivated the public. As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that Magdalena was just one player in a much larger network. Law enforcement uncovered the vast scale of the operation. Millions of pounds in drug money, luxury cars, yachts, and real estate assets were seized. The network, spanning multiple countries and continents, had been operating for years, and Magdalena's arrest led to a series of additional arrests, seizures, and the dismantling of the operation. Her involvement in the smuggling ring had been key, and the authorities used her arrest to bring down several other members of the network. So why would someone like Magdalena, who seemingly had it all, risk everything for a life of crime? The answer lies in the psychological pressures and complexities of living within the world of social media and influencer culture. On the surface, it may appear as though Magdalena was living the dream: endless luxury, global travel, brand deals, and an audience that adored her. However, beneath the polished Instagram feed and the flawless selfies, a much darker reality was unfolding. Psychologists suggest that the pressures of influencer culture played a significant role in Magdalena's decision to get involved in criminal activity. At the core of this culture is the constant need for validation and external approval. Social media platforms like Instagram thrive on likes, comments, shares, and followers. These metrics are not just numbers. They are seen as a direct reflection of success. For many influencers, the pursuit of engagement becomes an obsession, and their self-worth becomes intertwined with the popularity of their online persona. Magdalena, similar to many other influencers, centered her entire identity around her image. She projected a public image of a glamorous, successful woman who had mastered the art of living a perfect life. She portrayed herself as confident, stylish, and self-sufficient, traveling to exclusive locations, attending high-profile events, and wearing the latest fashion trends. This image made her a role model for thousands, if not millions, of followers. The validation she received in the form of likes and comments reinforced her sense of success. It gave her a sense of purpose and fulfillment that might not have been as easily attainable in her offline life. However, this external validation comes at a steep price. For influencers, the pressure to maintain this polished image can become overwhelming. Each post needs to outdo the last, every trip must be more glamorous than the previous one, and each new partnership with a brand must reflect a higher level of success. In this environment, there is little room for failure. The moment an influencer's content stops engaging their audience, they risk losing their followers and, with them, the brand deals that sustain their lifestyle. This constant pressure to perform can feel like a tightrope walk. One misstep, and their entire career could crumble. Magdalena was no exception. The lifestyle she had cultivated was not financially sustainable through brand deals alone. As her follower count grew and her brand image became more established, the demands to keep up with her online persona grew exponentially. She was caught in a cycle where she needed to constantly showcase new luxury, new destinations, and new experiences to keep her followers engaged. But the truth was that the income she was making from sponsorships and collaborations wasn't enough to cover the expenses of maintaining this lifestyle. Sponsorship deals and influencer income, while substantial, were still limited when compared to the high cost of international travel, private jets, luxury hotels, and designer clothes that she posted about regularly. Magdalena's story mirrors that of other high-profile influencers who have fallen from grace due to the pressures of maintaining a perfect public image. One notable example is Ramon Abbas, known as Hush Puppy. He gained fame by flaunting his extravagant lifestyle on Instagram, but in 2020, he was arrested for his involvement in a massive cyber fraud scheme. Like Magdalena, Hush Puppy's case shows how the need to uphold an image of wealth and success can lead influencers into criminal activity. Despite his outward appearance of wealth, his lifestyle was funded by fraudulent activities, which ultimately led to his arrest. Similarly, in Kuwait, several influencers were investigated for money laundering in 2021. These influencers used their platforms to promote their wealth, often showcasing expensive lifestyles, but behind the scenes, they were laundering illicit funds. Like Magdalena, they were caught in a cycle where the pressure to maintain their online persona led them into illegal activity. The common thread in these cases is the overwhelming need to present a life of luxury and success, often leading to poor decisions and criminal consequences. These cases highlight how the pursuit of social media fame, status, and wealth can cloud judgment and lead influencers down a dangerous path. For Hush Puppy, the Kuwaiti influencers, and Magdalena, the desire to maintain an image of success ultimately resulted in devastating consequences, proving how easily the pressure to succeed on social media can lead to criminal behavior. For Hush Puppy, the allure of wealth and status was so great that it overshadowed the risks associated with his actions. His social media following was built on the idea of success through opulence, and his posts were designed to show the world that anyone could achieve this lifestyle. But in reality, the life he was portraying was a carefully constructed illusion. The pressure to maintain this illusion became overwhelming, leading him to engage in fraudulent activities that ultimately resulted in his arrest and the collapse of his online empire. Hush Puppy's story is a stark reminder of how easily the desire to maintain a glamorous image can lead individuals down a path of crime, where the consequences are far-reaching and often irreversible. Magdalena's case is not the only one of its kind. Similar stories have emerged in other parts of the world, particularly in the Middle East, where the rise of influencer culture has been met with a growing number of scandals involving illegal activities. In Kuwait, for instance, several high-profile influencers were investigated for their involvement in money laundering schemes in 2021. These influencers had built massive followings on social media by showcasing their wealth, often sharing images of themselves at exclusive events, wearing designer clothes, and traveling to luxurious destinations. They portrayed lives of luxury and excess, presenting themselves as self-made entrepreneurs and successful business people. However, behind the scenes, many of these influencers were involved in money laundering activities. Authorities discovered that some were using their online platforms to promote illegal businesses, funneling illicit money through their accounts and using their influence to launder funds. Like Magdalena, these influencers were caught in the cycle of maintaining a perfect image, and they resorted to criminal behavior to support that image. The money laundering investigations in Kuwait brought to light the dangerous intersection of social media fame and criminal activity. The desire for status, wealth, and luxury can cloud judgment, leading individuals to make decisions that have severe legal and personal consequences. Magdalena's rise and fall are a cautionary tale about the pressures of influencer culture. Her story serves as a warning about the dangers of living a double life and the cost of chasing an idealized image of success. Behind the glamorous posts and curated images on social media lies a darker reality. For Magdalena, the pursuit of fame and fortune ultimately led her down a dangerous path, and her story is a stark reminder that the cost of maintaining an illusion of perfection can be far too high. Thank you for staying with us. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more Mafia Mystique content.